Hello guys, today we're talking about, it's actually a Disney movie. Today we're talking about the biggest flop of all time, John Carter. Yes, there's lots of movies that have lost money over the years. There's of course Solo, a Star Wars story, and various others. There's of course 47 Ronin. There's of course several other movies that lost money. Gods of Egypt is another movie that comes to mind. But then there's John Carter. So biggest flops in history. Well, John Carter is one of those movies. John Carter is easily a bad movie, okay? Bad movies usually tend to flop at the box office, unless it's Michael Bay's Transformers, where people eventually started to realize how bad it really was. And that was the end of that series. But John Carter is a movie that makes no sense, okay? It makes even less sense than the Ghost in the Shell movie. John Carter is just some random dude in the Civil War that is like fighting for some people, and he is put in jail, and he sneaks out of jail and goes to like a mountain where he meets where finds some guy and steals it from him, and essentially he essentially steals the thing to transport himself to Mars. It's makes no sense, but it's how these movies out. This is easily, and then somehow there's humans on Mars. It makes no sense that humans would evolve on a planet that has no water. Okay, it makes no sense that humans that we send rovers to Mars and there's all these life forms on Mars, even though there's only like two places on the planet where there's actually water in it, and they want somebody to help the princess. And then they have to beat this guy because he wants an arranged marriage and stuff. It's like the movie is like you can easily get lost in why this movie even exists. Okay, this movie makes this movie has no real and John Carter is the biggest flop of all time. I gotta show up how much money John Carter actually lost. Okay, how much money did John Carter lose? The movie lost 200 million. Oh yeah, and they said Alita was going to be the same flop as John Carter. Yeah, that's what they said. John Carter, an actual bad movie, losing money. Not surprising. And then he is put into a pit where this monster tries to kill him because he's from Earth and stuff and blah blah blah. And this movie cost 200 million dollars just to make alone, like $280 million. And this is actually a Disney movie. Disney actually was the one who lost money on John Carter because they thought it was going to be this big, huge, massive hit. Um, Overall, John Carter is just a boy movie. It's nothing special. It doesn't really distinguish itself from any other sci-fi movie. It's very hard, except it takes place on Mars. But there's other movies that also take place on Mars as well. So John Carter is really just a forgettable movie that just exists, and it'll only be remembered as a massive flop in the box office history. Um, it'll only be remembered as a box office flop and one of the biggest flops in box office history. And John Carter is made lost even more less so, money than Solo. And another movie that can be compared to John Carter is X Men: Dark Phoenix, which came out um came out like 2 years later. Came out no, not 2 years later. It came out this year. As you all know, um We all know that movie is another $200 million flop. And if you look at the biggest losses in movies history, the biggest money losers, or the most expensive box office disasters, this movie is usually on here, on biggest box office flops of all time. So, if you look at the least profitable movies of all time, Dark Phoenix is not updated to include Dark Phoenix yet, but it John Carter is the second biggest flop of all time. What movie made less money than John Carter? Oh yeah, Miles Needs Moms. That movie exists. Oh yeah, there's also a Disney movie. And you won, but Disney was probably able to absorb the costs. And now John Carter is another terrible sci-fi movie. I give this movie a 2 out of 10. It still has some good moments, and that's basically it. Um, and essentially, John Carter is now another forgettable sci-fi movie. Goodbye.